Bringing cartoons over to the video game realm doesn't seem like it'd be too terribly difficult, but if the history of Looney Tunes games are any indication, it's extremely hard to make good ones. There have been games based on these characters since the Atari 2600, and most of them are complete and total garbage. But if you try enough times, inevitably you're gonna get it right at least once, right? It's clear from the start of Sheep Raider that this game at least takes a different approach. Most Looney Tunes games over the years have taken the generic platformer approach, nicking whatever is popular in the genre at the time of development. On the other hand, while Sheep Raider takes inspiration from stealth action games like Metal Gear Solid, it is wholly its own thing. The best way I can describe it is Metal Gear Solid crossed with some sort of puzzle platformer. It's weird. As you've probably gathered by now, Sheep Raider is about stealing sheep. The main aim of the game is to steal away Sam Sheepdog's entire flock, one level at a time. During the course of each level, you'll need to sneak by Sam by tiptoeing into his flock and nabbing a single sheep without him noticing. But stealing the sheep, the game's stealthy and honestly best gameplay aspect, is just the beginning. After you manage to grab the furry little guy and escape the immediate area, you still need to get it back to the level's exit point. In order to perform those tasks, you need gadgets, which are of course graciously provided by the Acme Corporation. You'll find new gadgets scattered about levels, and most of the time you'll need to find a few of them in order to complete the task at hand. Now that sounds pretty great, but the problem I have is that the game only really allows for a single solution. There's always one extremely obvious way in each level to get the sheep to the level's exit, but it's also the only way to do it. Even if it would appear that another solution is possible, the game keeps you from doing it. The only way that you can finish levels is the way that the game intended for you to do it. And from a modern standpoint, that's extremely frustrating. If something seems possible within the game's mechanics, I want to be able to do it. Generally speaking, I don't really get to talk about graphics for PS1 games all that often. Games from this particular era have aged extremely poorly in the visual department thanks to extremely low-res textures and character models made out of a handful of polygons. But Sheep Raider takes this weakness and turns it into an asset. The visual design is fantastic. They use the small amount of power the PS1 has wisely, creating cartoonish landscapes that don't look ugly, they look fantastic, in a hand-drawn cartoon way. Those graphics do help elevate the game pretty significantly. Without them, Sheep Raider is kind of generic. Each scenario is extremely linear, and despite the variety and all the different gadgets you'll be using, the whole thing grows kind of tedious by the end, not really helped by the fact that the UI is kind of a kludgy mess. But that whimsical style, along with a set of spot-on sound effects, make the game worth playing. Despite their linear nature, I did enjoy the puzzles more often than not, and they were always at least tolerable. But it was the game's strict adherence to the Looney Tunes aesthetic that kept me playing for the duration. Like a lot of the PS1 catalog, Sheep Raider is starting to creep up in the price department. You'll be looking at anywhere between $10 and $20 for a copy of this, so if you want a copy, I'd buy it now before it goes up even further. Also, I should note that in Europe, this game is known as Sheep, Dog, and Wolf, so you should be looking for it under that name. Every Monday, I look at a game that's at least 10 years old, what I would consider retro, and I see if it's held up today. If you like that idea, be sure to subscribe so you can see the latest videos. If you like this video in particular, be sure to hit that like button, and thanks for watching.